Hey guys, welcome to Pixel Street Videos, where today we're going to go over a little review for Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. I am your host, John Hansen, and I am joined by Respawn Aimfire's Holden DePardo. Holden, how's it going?
It's going really well.
So we definitely haven't already filmed some of this, so we're just gonna, we're, all right, real quick. We're talking 3D World and Bowser's Fury. Not as much 3D World, more Bowser's Fury, but we're gonna start in 3D World. For some history on our backgrounds and everything, I never played this game on the Wii U. I never had my own Wii U, and I was just never interested in that console. Holden has a history with Super Mario 3D World on Wii U. So just a
Yes.
little background and everything. We're going into this with very different perspectives and everything. And I think a real good way to sum this up is this is a really good quality game that we both really enjoy. I think. I don't know.
Absolutely, yeah.
Coming back to this, do you still enjoy this as much as when you first played it?
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing I didn't actually get to even say in our first take, one of the reasons I really enjoy this game so much is the best parts of any Mario game is the platforming. And as much as I love the kind of open-ended style of like an Odyssey, it doesn't have as much platforming. It's more about exploring. And so being able to just play a pure platforming 3D Mario game is really exciting for me. I feel like whenever I go back and I play Odyssey, I want to go back and jump into some 3D platforming, but I kind of have to get through some stuff to get there sometimes. And this is just pure platforming from beginning to end, and it's great. And I think it's the reason why I like this Mario game so much.
Yeah, it being more of a traditional 2D take on Mario, but just in a 3D environment, really lends to that, I think. And it might even help more
Absolutely, yeah.
because in those 2D levels, yeah, there's a lot of platforming and everything, but it's a straight line going forward. In 3D world, I feel like there's many more hills and everything that you have to go up and down. So maybe that does
Yeah.
play an impact and everything.
Absolutely. There's a level of exploration in each level, but there's absolutely that A to B path as well. But it feels kind of freeform. It's kind of like Mario Galaxy had kind of open-ended levels, but there still was like a, point A to point B. But this is, I think, more linear than even Galaxy is.
Yeah, yeah, that is a pretty good. I always think of Galaxy as a strictly 3D game, but it is very linear. Um, yeah, not as linear as this though, but I'd
Yeah,
say it's up there.
absolutely. Yeah.
Um,
There are definitely levels
yeah,
you return
that's
to, and it's just like a slightly varied version of the same world. But this is just like straight through, new level every time.
yeah, for sure. You have four players you can choose as in this game: Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Toad, which is a callback to Super Mario Brothers 2 on the NES. It's not the old Peach is captured, let's save her from Bowser thing. It's a little different, not that much different. We're just saving fairies in this new world. This isn't the Mushroom Kingdom. I don't even know what this land is called, but it's pretty much Mushroom Kingdom 2.0. I don't even understand why they try and go with, oh, this is a new world, a new land. Look at this. There's warp pipes everywhere. This is just
Yeah.
another Mario world, pretty much.
This is a
Regardless,
new desert area, a
yeah.
new Bowser's castle,
Yeah.
a new underwater area.
Yeah, look at this mystical area we've never been to. There's also 8 different Bowser's castles in here. Regardless, though, we were saying before, we really enjoy the level design and everything in this game. Like, it's really got that Nintendo charm. We also mentioned how the power ups are back and they're all great. The cat suit we really enjoy. We really enjoy being able to climb things, and just having the cat suit there is a really good inclusion to this game, and it helps it feel different.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely a unique power up. And we'll kind of, I think, talk more about that as well when we get to Bowser's Fury, because there's a lot of cats in Bowser's Fury.
Oh yeah,
It's a big part of it.
absolutely. Yeah,
But it definitely lends itself to some unique exploration opportunities, some kind of unique ways to find stars, looking into corners you might not normally be able to get to. Definitely a fun power up to include.
Probably the thing I love most about this game is finding the green stars and everything. While there are some moments where you have to have a specific power up in a specific level to find a star, they don't do that much. I remember, like, I think it was New Super Mario Brothers on the Wii, where there were so many levels that, oh, I have to have the propeller suit at this point in the level to get this collectible. That's just not there in this one. Like,
Yeah.
if there's a star out of reach, there's usually a different way to get it, which I really enjoy because it just takes away some of the needless backtracking to just get the power up you need to come back.
Yeah, have you gotten to the Star World yet?
Yeah, I'm on like the second one right now.
Okay. I think it's the second one. There's like one where I feel like you might be able to do it normally, but it seems so impossible that just the cat suit makes it significantly easier. So like, I had to go back and for that one. But like it's rare, you're right. It doesn't happen very often. Some of these though are really well hidden. There was one, I remember this very specifically, World 6-1 or level 6-1.
I wrote a guide for this.
To get. Yeah. Oh my gosh. That stamp it was in the middle of a glass pipe, so you travel through the glass pipe and you don't even see it. So I never even thought to climb on top of the glass pipe and jump up to the highest level of the glass pipe and then find the stamp up there. I scoured that level for probably 30 minutes going, it can't be that hard to find the stamp. It shouldn't be this hard to find the stamp.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But then it was like cleverly hidden on the glass pipe, which was I liked it, but it just took me forever to figure it out.
Yeah, they definitely they play with your expectations in some maps that way, because that map in particular, I think it's called Clear Pipe Cruise or something like that. The entire point of that map is to go through all these different pipes, and you're supposed to grab items and stuff, and that's the main course of action through that map. Until you get to that very specific point where to get this collectible, you have to actually jump on top of the pipe, run across it, do like a tricky jump, or if you have the cat suit, climb up it and grab the stamp, where the rest of the level is completely different from that. Like they completely throw a curveball at you. And I kind of love that. Like, Nintendo, I feel like they like, especially in certain games, they get in a comfort zone. And while, yeah, they'll throw out the odd thing or two, they really like to keep, like, head down and forward to the main, like, design of the area, where something like that is just a surprise, and it makes you look at a level differently. What do you think about that?
No, absolutely. I feel like what Nintendo I think there's this idea that Nintendo games are super easy. Mario is a game for babies. And it's like, well, if you're going through the game and not trying to get everything, yeah, it's going to be easier. But if you want to get all the stars, you want to get all the stamps, you want to hit the top of the flagpole at the end of every level, like that's going to be hard. That's not something that everyone, I think, is going to be able to do on their first try. Some of these stars are incredibly challenging to get, and that's where the difficulty of Mario games comes from. It's not from getting from point A to point B, it is finding everything in the level. I think it's brilliant game design on Nintendo's part.
Yeah, that's one thing I really want to shout out to this game in particular, is once you actually beat Bowser and everything and you unlock the special worlds, that's where the game difficulty truly comes in, and that's where I'm really starting to enjoy this game. Mario games in the past, they they start out easy and everything, but usually at the end there is that very difficult level. In Mario Odyssey, it's the dark side of the moon and darker side of the moon, like that stuff, where before it's kind of a cakewalk, you're kind of just there for the experience, but when you get to this point, it's like, oh yeah, all of my skills and everything are being tested here. I think I'm at that point now. I have. So I don't know what the criteria is for unlocking it, because I've just been grabbing every star and stamp as I go through levels. I don't move on until I have them all. But once I beat Bowser, I was able to build a rocket ship and go to space. And yeah, those levels are much more difficult and much more rewarding because of it, I feel.
Yeah, absolutely. It's I'm glad. So yeah, we were playing online together was one thing, and I'm glad we both had that same mentality of not wanting to go past the level till we have found everything. that was nice. And so yeah, I don't know if you needed to have a certain amount of stars or get the flagpole on every level, because once I beat Bowser, I'd already done that for all of them, so I wasn't sure what the kind of the prerequisite was either. But where's I going with that? I don't remember. But it's that post-game difficulty. That's where I was going with this. That post-game difficulty, I really, really appreciate in this game, Mario game in particular. It's one of the reasons why I like Mario 3D Land so much, is because once you beat the game, then you have the additional like 8 special worlds, which are significantly harder than the previous 8 worlds. And I really, really like when they do that. I like that. It's kind of like Pokemon Gold and Silver. Like once you beat the game as you'd expect it to beat, then you have this whole kind of second main quest to do, if you will.
And the difficulty just keeps going up until you fight Silver or Red. I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I absolutely love that stuff in Nintendo games. I wish there was more of it. I feel like these days that stuff is kind of relegated to Mario games. Like that's just like you brought up Pokemon Gold and Silver. That's nowhere to be found in like Sword or Shield. Once you beat the game, you're like, okay, I'm king of everything. Like I just walk through everything. But no, I really enjoyed this. Did you look up and see if online play was in the Wii U version?
It is not in the Wii U version, so that was new to the Switch version.
All right, so yeah, we played online together. It's not perfect, but it's much better than something like Super Mario Maker 2, which is good. I was pleasantly surprised by how well it worked. I played it with my daughter last night, and we definitely had more problems there. I think her internet's a little more spotty than yours and mine. But regardless, I was pleasantly surprised, and especially with pandemic still going on, that was a viable way to play this. I really enjoyed it. I think... So you and I played through, I think, World 3, maybe 4, and then from there I played solo.
Yeah.
I think, while it's still fun playing solo, I had so much more fun playing this with a friend. I just think the chaos there is so much fun.
Yep. The chaos, there's also this... Like, there's this really kind of good competitive element to it, too, with the crown. And whoever gets the most points in the previous level, like, gets the crown. And then that was just totally, totally fun. Because playing Little Big Planet for comparison, not Little Big Planet, Sackboy Big Adventure for comparison, which is also a 3D platformer that you can play in a very similar structure with friends. It's fun, it has the chaos, but it doesn't quite have that competitive level. Like, yes, you will get... more points in the end, and someone will be able to hold the trophy, but it's not quite the same as having that crown in the next level and then losing the crown,
like,
and
really
like all that kind of fun that comes with it.
And yeah, and the thing I love most about it is, as I was playing with my daughter yesterday, it was to a point where like she was like, oh, you got the crown again and everything, but you know what, we're on a team, so that doesn't matter. I'm like, yeah, you know what, that's actually beautiful, because this is a team game. Yeah, there's a little competitive thing in there, but there's nothing there to like actually start a fight. Like maybe you might.
It's a friendly competition.
Yeah,
it's totally a friendly competition. Yeah,
and I absolutely love that aspect of it. Is there anything else you want to say on 3D World? I absolutely enjoyed this game for my first time into it.
Yeah, I loved it back then. I love it now. I think I have a better appreciation for it now, and I do kind of feel like this is one of the more underrated Mario games. I feel like it doesn't get. And I think a big part of that is being on the Wii U, but I don't think it gets the praise I think it deserves. It's a really, really fantastic Mario game, and as much as I like Odyssey and the open world Mario games, or open structure Mario games, I don't want this style to be lost either, because I think there's some really unique things that I don't know if open world can live up to as well, and I think that's a good transition into Bowser's Fury. Not to do the segues, but...
Yeah, no, that's absolutely perfect. So yeah, Bowser's Fury is... it's like a little side mode. It's kind of its own game. I would say this is kind of a combination of 3D World and Odyssey. Would you say that? Like, there is so much Odyssey-inspired stuff in this game mode. All right, so yeah, the game starts out, it's kind of like Mario 3D World. Mario's just walking in front of the castle. Hey, there's ink splotches everywhere. Goes in, falls into this new world. Bowser's giant, he's angry. Bowser Jr. says, hey, my dad's mad, help me. Yeah, again, we're talking about a Mario story here. Like nothing special. Yeah, I
I like
I
the
really
setup for it,
enjoyed.
though. It was a good setup.
Excuse me. I really enjoyed Bowser's Fury. I had a really good time playing it. It was really good to like have this callback to Mario Odyssey because, like I said, there's just so much there. Instead of like stars or moons this time, you're grabbing cat shines, which are just they're power moons, but they have like cat emblems and everything. I really enjoy everything that there is to do in this level. It's just taking the controls and movement of 3D World and just bringing it over.
Yeah, I really really liked Bowser's Fury a lot. It's a very unique Mario game. I think that like yes, it is open structure, but it doesn't mean it's exactly like Odyssey. It's still a very different style game than Odyssey, but it definitely has some similar DNA. Kind of like how 3D World is a blending the DNA of 3D and 2D Mario games together. This is kind of like blending different styles of 3D Mario games, which is 3D World and Odyssey. Like it does that kind of same thing. The way I kind of like to think of it is if you were to take a Mario game and say like here's World 1, but rather than going level by level, all the levels are just available to you immediately and you can just explore that one world at any point you want to, and then the next world will open up, which is part of that same big map, and it just kind of grows the map over time. It's a really cool way of doing it. I think there's still some kinks they need to iron out though, because I don't think it's perfect necessarily. So like an example is like let's say that there's 5 cat shines per lighthouse, which is kind of like a level or world equivalent in.
It's like Mario 64 having 6
3D
stars.
world. Yeah, exactly. But Mario 64, when you leave a level, it resets the level so you can go back into it, and it's varied in a different way, so there's a new challenge there. And they'll do that too, but it means that you have to like leave the area and then like go back to the same area, or maybe you have to wait for Bowser to show up to access something specific in that world. And like so like it works, but it can be a little clunky sometimes with your free exploration. Overall, it's I think a highly worthwhile experience for a Mario fan to try out and see. It's a really, really strong experience. Even if it's a little shorter, I still feel like it had a lot of substance to it.
I think the length of the length of this game actually plays in its favor, because I think if it went any further, you would really start getting tired with this world and everything, because it's not a big world, and it doesn't have the same thing like Mario Odyssey where there are moons everywhere and you can just like turn a corner and find a collectible.
Yeah.
Which is it works in this game's favor, because I would hate having to find like 100 more moons than I actually had, or 100 more cat shines
Yeah.
than I actually had to find in this. I would say this probably took me about 5 hours, maybe 6 to 100% complete, which is not an impressive thing to say at all, because it's literally just collect 50 cat shines, fight Bowser, come back, collect 50 more. Like, that's all you have to do. You just have to find 100 cat shines and you're done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoy it. There's definitely aspects of it that made me miss like the movement in Mario Odyssey. Like there's no triple jump, which just felt so odd to me.
Yes.
Like I know this is Mario 3D World and that's just not in there. That just felt completely foreign to me, having the sandbox and not being able to do the triple jump. It felt wrong, and I don't like it still after I'm done playing it. But overall, if you played 3D World, you played Bowser's Fury from a control standpoint. Like all the power-ups are here, all the movement is the same. There is the inclusion of Bowser Jr. I never played with a co-op partner in this. I don't think you did either.
No, I didn't. And I also turned him off. I didn't have him do anything.
You turned him
except float
completely
around
off. I kept him on
Yeah.
help a little because I wanted to see what he would do, and it's not much. He would just like collect coins every now and then, or he might attack an enemy, but he wouldn't do that very much. So I might as well have had him turned off. Yeah, I just don't. Bowser Jr. felt like such an afterthought in this. Like they were like, oh yeah, we'll throw him in there just so we can have a co-op mode. Bowser Jr. just didn't feel really earned in here. Like, he's kind of there just to do his paint thing to give you the power-ups, but you get power-ups at pretty much every opportunity, so I just really didn't feel like
I never ran out of power-ups ever.
Me either. I just really never felt like Bowser Jr. earned his spot in here. The one thing I do love, though, is when you're in the cutscenes and he's, like, talking to Mario. Mario's just over there with his arms crossed. He's like, this shit again. I just love the look on Mario's face where he's just like, why the fuck am I listening to this guy? The
charm in the cutscenes was very strong in this one, I will say. That's one thing I really enjoyed about it.
Yeah, absolutely. The one thing I did not like about this, so of course the big selling point with this is Bowser's big. When it starts raining, he comes and attacks you and everything. That stuff I'm fine with. You kind of alluded to this with having to go back to Worlds and like use him to get to certain areas. I hated that because there's no good way to bring Bowser out when you need him, and he always seems to appear when I don't want him to appear. I just remember being on this one island. It's the island that like spins and everything, and it's above the lava. So if you fall, you just instantly die and you have to start all over. I absolutely hated that island so much because I would just keep going through it. Bowser would appear, and I'd be like, oh, now I have to dodge his attacks while also going through this, which at the end of the day, not the worst thing in the world, but then I start trying to hurry myself, and I make stupid mistakes and fall and die, and it made me get to a point where it's like, I never want to see this fucking island again. Like, get me away from here. That was
like the third unlocked large area, and that was the first level I did in that unlocked area. So I'm like, holy crap, the difficulty just spiked like crazy in this last area. But that is the hardest of the new set. Of the third set of levels.
The other ones are more the same with the other ones, but that one is just out of nowhere difficult. Yeah, I hated that one. Yeah, I didn't think it was fun or anything. I also don't like how it's, as you go through, you're pretty much having this boss fight with Bowser over and over again, and it's the same thing every time. It's always collect this many cat shines, grab the Giga Bell, turn into giant Super Saiyan Cat Mario, and just wait for Bowser to get stuck in the ground and ground pound him. Like, that's all it is over and over again. And man, that was really taxing and just not fun. Like, I was really expecting more out of those giant battles.
Yeah, I can agree with that. It definitely doesn't evolve per interaction with Bowser, and technically you can fight him many, many times. You don't have to fight him. I think the minimum is 4 if you want 100% complete it.
5, maybe.
5?
Whatever. It's many times.
It's many times, yeah. And I still liked it because of how epic it felt, how you're a huge version of Mario stomping around the like levels that you've been in. Like, that, for me, kept it entertaining enough to not bother me, but I definitely agree that it didn't evolve per interaction. Like, they could have given Bowser... Actually, this isn't even a hard thing for Nintendo to do, because this is how Mario 64 worked. They evolved Bowser's moveset each time you fought him, and you fight him 3 times throughout the game. This is not anything new. They've done this in other, like, even Zelda games. Like, you fight Phantom Ganon, which is a little bit different version of a fight than when you fight Ganon later on in the game at the end. Like, they've done this before, kind of, but they just didn't evolve.
I think the difference is that in those games, you have a lot more in between those fights. Like, in Mario 64, you're going through multiple levels and everything. In this, you're going maybe a half hour before you're fighting him again. Maybe that's a little short. Maybe like an hour. It just feels like a really short time to have the same exact fight happen again. And for that reason, I was just like, okay, this is a chore. Come here, Bowser. I'm going to kick your ass again. Like, yeah, the first time I did that giant fight, I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. This is epic and everything. But like, even when you get all 100 cat shines and the only difference is that his hair is white and he has more health, I'm like, really? That's it? Like, I don't know. So you
it's a
did
different
100
color. It's totally unique.
Yeah, it's complete. He went Ultra
Totally
Instinct.
unique.
We have Super Saiyan Mario against Ultra Instinct Bowser. Yeah, so you did 100% this mode, right?
Yes, I got all 100
Yep,
shines.
I did as well. It's not that hard to do, really. You just
No,
gotta spend your time doing it. The the 100% criteria for this was like really lame, I thought. So did you actually go back in and see what happens when you 100% it?
Yeah, so you your cat suit is always the Saiyan style.
Yeah, it's
cat
always
suit.
just got the same.
And then
Bowser Jr.
yeah, which is
looks
cool
like a
looking.
cat.
And then Bowser Jr. is a cat. Yeah,
Yeah.
which is like it's things that are cool, but I don't like it when, for example, you play this game, you 100% complete it, and then they get. All right, here's an example. In Breath of the Wild, I 100% did everything in that game, and then I got the motorcycle bike, and I'm like, or the Hyrulean bike, whatever it's called. I'm like, this is cool, but now what's the point?
Yeah.
There's nothing for me to do, so I don't like. Why do I need this? I don't know if you needed to have 100% to get the bike, but that's how it played out for me. Is I 100%ed it and then got the bike, so it annoyed me. I don't like it when you get a character 100% into the game. 3D World does it better, where you get Rosalina once you beat one of the Star World levels, but then you still have like 2 other worlds after that are more challenging that you can use Rosalina if you want to. So like, there's still a reason like to play as her. I don't like. Cool, Bowser Jr. is a cat. It is cool. It would have been cool if that was like after you beat the game, and then in the post game stuff, he's a cat, and you're saying cat. Like, that would have been cool. Why didn't they do that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I would have loved it if they brought the Super Saiyan cat to 3D World. Like, it doesn't carry over at all. Like, I was.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I was really disappointed in that, because I beat Bowser's Fury before I beat 3D World, and I was like, okay, I've got this new awesome looking cat Mario. Let's see if he carries over. Nope. Well, okay. And like the Bowser Jr. thing, it doesn't change his functionality, his attacks, or anything. It's just a different skin. And then also, Bowser just completely disappears from the world at that point. When you go back in, you will never fight Bowser again. He's just not there. So, like, the main draw of this whole entire game mode just leaves after you 100% complete it. And, like...
I think he is there. It just takes a while for him to show up. I don't know 100% certain, because I waited at... There's this one point where you can go right up to where he usually is at, and it was like quiet there. I'm like, oh, I guess he's gone. But I just kind of held it there for a while, and I was introducing my phone, and I started to see his shell pop up.
Oh, it did? Okay. Well, maybe he is
Yeah,
there.
but it took a long time. It took a long time for it to show up. Yeah, but there's still no reason to, like...
Yeah, there's no new collectibles, there's no new islands. It's just... Yeah, it's...
Yeah.
It's there, like, it's just a playground to run around in, which I guess is fine if you want that, but who wants that after you've played through these small islands already?
Yeah. And none of the platforming areas are long enough to warrant going back and doing it again. There's not like going to be this like crazy platform challenge. It's the same thing you've already done. It's the same thing.
Yeah. There's also some islands where there's no shortcuts or anything after you've already been through them. And I just... really there was the ice tower one where you have to like propel yourself up constantly, and like every time I got to the top I was like, man, now I gotta get to the bottom and restart the challenge so I can get a new cat shine and then like do this all over again. I was like, man, I would just like it if there's just a pipe to bring me all the way up here. There's like one, but it like only brings you up one level, and I'm like, well, that was pointless.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I think those are my main thoughts. Do you have any more to say on Bowser's Fury?
Not about the game itself, but I guess my question to you is, would you want to see a full 8-world-sized Mario game with this style?
With a
Bowser's
Bowser's
have to be in an
Fury
ocean
style?
or anything like that. Yeah, it doesn't have to even have Bowser in the middle of it for epic boss battles, but just kind of this like open-ended Mario game that's more focused on platforming.
I would say no, because I 100% would prefer Super Mario Odyssey 2 over this. I like this as an add-on mode. I'm not saying I didn't enjoy this. I really enjoyed it. I don't want to see a full game in this style. I would rather, if they look at something like this, make Super Mario 3D World 2. Like, I love the style. I love that the control scheme there and the power-ups just work for that setup better. I enjoy this because I enjoy 3D Mario games. I absolutely love them, but not all of that magic is there. There's a little bit that takes it away from me.
Yeah, I definitely would rather, I think, see 3D World 2 or Odyssey 2. But if they announced a new version of Mario in this style, I still think I'd be really excited about it because I think I would have an expectation that they learned things from this experience and have tailored it. Nintendo's not usually a company that sticks with stagnation. They get criticized for doing the same franchises over again, but they actually, I think, are they adapt their game style more than other companies, I would say.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And I think that if they brought it back, I would trust that they've done it for valid reasons. But I agree that I think I'd rather see a 3D World 2 because I think that's more of a unique 3D Mario experience at this point. And in Odyssey 2, I just loved Odyssey.
Yeah,
I think that's probably my favorite Mario game. So
yeah, no, for
More
sure.
that's good.
So yeah, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. It's $60. Would you recommend people buy it for that price?
yeah, I mean, especially since it's likely that you didn't play it before because most people didn't have a Wii U. So
Yeah.
it's basically like a new Mario game for so many people. It's really fantastic.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Especially during pandemic, play online in 3D World with someone else. It's absolutely a blast, even if it stutters and everything. I think it's absolutely worth the purchase, and you should do it. But yeah, that is our review for Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this kind of stuff, leave a like, comment down below if you've played the game, if you enjoy it. Subscribe to Pixel Street Videos, and with Holden DePardo, I'm John Hansen. We will catch you on the next one. Bye!
Bye.